This is Radio Anu International. Cutting and clearing, renting and tearing.
Sunday the 17th of September, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on Zoom and on YouTube for the official relaunch of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge website, priestisaacinstitute.com. Our website has been upgraded and has been made more easily accessible to you. On priestisaacinstitute.com, you will find all that you need for your holistic growth. We offer certified courses in ancient astronomy and ancient archaeoastronomy, as well as our international homeschool program for children of all ages. At priestisaacinstitute.com, we not only offer our books, video documentaries, and webinars, we also have available food preparation courses and cooking classes in the field of raw foods as well as vital plant-based cuisines. Do you shop online for your nuts, grains, etc.? We have that too. Get all your necessities from your agave, honey, spices, all your nuts, and so on. Now don't forget our online clothing labeled with our icons. You can get your sweaters, t-shirts, even hoodies. The Tiger's Nest. And speaking of the Tiger's Nest, Radio Anu International, 24-hour internet radio, giving you positive, conscious information and inspiration throughout the day. Again, on the 17th of September 2023, mark the date from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on Zoom or on the Priest Isaac's YouTube channel for the official relaunch of priestisaacinstitute.com. Zoom VIPs will receive a special gift. To get your Zoom link, go to the website priestisaacinstitute.com or email us at priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. 17th of September. Be there.
Green as ice mountains of India's forest struck.
And of course, you know it's about that time. Life giver and the keeper of life. International melody. Talking about the international flavor, the universal spice. I welcome each and every one to the Tiger's Nest. Glorify Marcus Garvey. Once again, give thanks for your presence. You know, we glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. Yes, it is a wonderful Wednesday evening. Hey, today, the 23rd day of August, the Lion Gate opens. Yeah. And of course, family, as I said, the orb known as the sun standing in front of that bright celestial ball known as Regulus. And of course, as I said, opening the path to the lion zone. So we do give thanks that you're in the tiger's nest. And of course, you know, we're going to definitely uplift the spirits and thoughts as we always do. Hey, let me welcome each and every one who may be joining us for the first time. You're definitely in tune to Radio Anu. This is Radio Anu. Once again, you find Radio Anu on the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge website, which is priestisaacinstitute.com. More than likely, the vast amount of you, the vast majority of you are listening to us on Radio Anu. At the moment, we are streaming to the YouTube for some
some portion of the program, but for sure, I know the whole program will not be streamed to the YouTube this evening. As you know, this is really an exclusive Radio Anu presentation, Tiger's Nest, but it's no problem at all because you're already in the worldwide trap, the World Wide Net, or the World Wide Web. You know, a web is a net. You know that, don't you? A web is a trap. Why do you think the spider builds the web? I know it looks good, but it's not for decor. It's to catch the prey. Dinner. All right. So we're in the World Wide Web. Just be careful how you move around. Careful how you surf the web, you know. If you can't surf good and you fall off of that surfboard, you're in trouble. That's why it's the internet. It's a net. It's a web internet. You drop into the net, you know. The worldwide trap, the worldwide net, in the interweb. Any which way you turn it is a trap definitely for you. But anyway, let's stay on the topic here. So for sure, giving thanks for your presence this evening with us. And of course, our website, www, them 3 W's, priestisaacinstitute.com, priestisaacinstitute.com. And for sure, again, when the streaming is sealed on the YouTube, you can definitely just go to the description below the video and press it. The link in the description, I should say, and press the link, and it will carry you straight, or bring you straight, to Radio Anu, where we will continue the rest of the program in this evening. This is a serious program tonight. Yeah. As you know, we're still in the month of Mosiah. In fact, again, let me just remind you, today being the 23rd day of August, how many of you were with us previous night? I'm sure you could have, you would have felt the energy today. If you didn't feel it, maybe you weren't paying attention. But the energy was and is extremely strong because today is a portal opening meditation. Yeah, as I said, the lion gate. So you hear all the astrologers speaking about the lion gate. And to be very honest, I do not really follow them that much. So they may just happen to be saying what I'm saying, but I seriously doubt that for sure. But again, what is really happening on the astronomical level, this is no spooky business. This is just reality. It's almost like an eclipse. You know, when the sun goes in front of the moon, you see the sun blocks out the light of the moon. You know, whatever you think is happening, it doesn't matter if you think the world is flat or if it's a rectangle. We all see the sun go in front of the moon. Even if you think the sun and the moon is the same size and the sun is just in front of the moon, or the moon, I mean the moon in front of the sun, pardon me, the moon in front of the sun, you see this, the moon go in front of the sun, or you see the earth pass between the sun and the moon, you still consider it an eclipse. So when the sun goes in front of Regulus now, which is the star within the Lion constellation, the sun in front of Regulus is like an eclipse when the moon goes in front of the sun. Now, of course, the sun is not really going in front of Regulus. I mean, Regulus is how many light years away? But obviously, it is from where we are, from the angle that we are in the galaxy, and of course, in the solar system, and the sun, which appears to rise and set and all of that. It has to do with our apparent vision. What we are looking at is an apparent movement of the sun, apparent movement of the stars. Even the moon, although the moon has its own rotation, a lot of its movement and its speed is because of our rotation as well. Very important. So even sometimes when we say, oh, the sun has gone behind the cloud, just think about that for a moment. The sun has gone behind the cloud. Which cloud did the sun go behind? The sun didn't go behind no cloud. But from where we are, it appears as if the orb that is 93 million miles away is going behind a cloud that is just a few hundred feet above our head. In fact, sometimes the cloud is in our backyard, depending on where we live. So I'm just showing to you that today, the sun would have appeared to have gone in front of the star Regulus. Now, usually you wouldn't see Regulus in the day. In fact, you hardly see any star whatsoever in the day. Maybe you may see Venus on specific days in the day because of how close its proximity is to Earth. But regularly, you don't see nothing else but the sun when the sun is out. Maybe the moon if it's close by, but the sun dominates the day sky. So you won't see the sun slowly but surely getting close to Regulus and covering it. But we all know that astronomically, if we're going to do the maths, the sun is in front of Regulus right now. So the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the sun would have gone past Regulus and Regulus would be shining its light down again. So that's why I was saying you could compare it to an eclipse. When the moon goes in front of the sun, I was saying the sun goes in front of the moon. Pardon me. You know how it is. The sun is going in front of Regulus. But the moon now, when we see the eclipse, the solar eclipse as it's called, is when the new moon passes in front of the sun. And it gives the impression as if the moon and the sun is the same size. All of that is the dynamics of the hand of the Most High. So remember, when the moon goes in front of the sun now, what happens? Day turns to night. And then what happens? Insects that do things at night start to do the thing that they do at night in the middle of the day. In the Caribbean, we have a lot of roosters around. When the sun sets in the evening, these roosters and the hens and all the other chickens go up into the tree and they go to sleep. When you have an eclipse, a solar eclipse in the middle of the day, these same fowls, rooster hens and chickens, go up into the tree and go to rest, just as they would have done when the sun set. And remember, the eclipse is going to last maybe about 3 hours. So when the sun begins to come out again, about 3 o'clock, these same chickens come out of the tree and start to look for the worm. And within 3-4 hours, when the sun really sets, they go back into the tree again. The point I'm making is that nature that is not trained, nature that is moving with its instinct, is directly connected to astronomy, the movement of the heavens and everything that is connected with it. That's why I always say, when you have, a full moon and even the new moon, it affects the water table of the planet and it affects your water table as well. There's nothing you can do to fight that. That's just a natural thing. So I'm saying all of this to say, when the sun passes in front of Regulus, many of us, we have no idea what energy the sun is blocking out from the star Regulus every 23rd day of August. What does that do? When the sun stops that light that is beaming towards us every 23rd day of August, what happens then? Again, portals open, family. So this is not like some ancient mythical tradition that we're bringing up. This is not tarot card readings. This is science, genuine science. So the laser coming from the star is blocked off. When the sun's light is blocked off by the moon, even if it's for 2.5 hours, it does something to the planet. It does something to us. It does something to the rooster. That's why it goes up into the tree. It does something to the cockroach. It does something to the mosquito. It does something to the horse, the donkey, the dog, the worm, the caterpillar. Everything reacts to the sun when it disappears, even if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Naturally. And we do too, but we are well trained. We have our degree. So we don't pay attention to these things. We go and buy some purple and green shades to put them on and look at the eclipse. That's how intelligent we are. But other forms of life free up themselves and just move with the energy that is taking place when an eclipse happens. That's very important, family, for us to understand this. So when the sun again passes in front of and blocks off the light of a very serious star, Regulus, even if it's just for a day and a half, That day and a half is very important. The portals, Rasta. The portals. And if you understand astronomy, during the time of King Solomon, even the time when Menelik II was born, do you know that the Lion Gate opening was the 23rd of July? Because remember, the sun moves 1 degree every 72 years. So it was not always the 23rd of August that the sun would be in front of the light of Regulus. I'm showing you that 900 BCE, the sun would have been in front of Regulus perfectly, just like today on the 23rd day of July. So the 23rd day of July at that time, interestingly, would represent the opening of the Lion's Gate as it relates to the sun crossing over that very key star that represents the Lion's Gate, Regulus. So there's a lot of science there, and I just thought I would begin the program with that so that you could, kind of feel why it is important to recognize what is taking place today. Because whether you believe or not, that doesn't change the reality, that the sun is creating such an energy. So it's not just blocking the energy of Regulus, it is combining itself with the energy of Regulus. That's the power. And as I said, portals, meditation, enough vibration taking place is only realistic, Even around here, you could feel it naturally. If you are in tune, you can feel when the atmosphere is changing, when the frequency around you is changing. Once you are in tune, you can feel all of that stuff. When the planets aligned on the 5th of May, 2000, I was on Greencastle Hill. I felt it as clear as you could feel it going through. I said, yes, powers. But it depends on, where you are, how you set yourself, your lifestyle, the position of the day. That's why we are given the order to wear white and black over white and certain colors on certain days. That's why we're asked to fast on certain days. That's why we're asked not to eat specific things, even at certain times. Some of us, we're not too au fait of why we do all of this, but believe it or not, it assists us now to go into this other realms where you have days like today, when certain cosmic things are happening, and you can literally feel it within your system. You can say, hey, I feel it. Have you ever had that feeling when your ear gives out this kind of numbing? It just, I'm sure you all know that feeling. There's this, the ear goes somewhat numb in a sense, but your hearing, your hearing has not gone away, but there's this sort of pressure that comes down. Some people say when that happens, everyone goes through that. Some people say when that happens, these people, the people that control the weather, HARP, they say HARP is doing something somewhere in the earth. Okay. I cannot prove that. But I know for sure, as I said, we all go through that. So that is just to show you how the goodie works. That means something, whether it's HARP or not. It means something. There's some frequency around you, some energy around you that makes that happen. Man, that's just one level. Listen to this level. You walk through a field of something you're allergic to. You sneeze, right? Achoo, 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 because you are allergic to whatever the pollen is. That's just on one level, but there are other levels to this. Sometimes you get a headache. Why? Why did you get the headache? Headache is not always something internal or something you eat or all of that. Sometimes the headache is a message coming to you, about a real headache that's going to follow the headache. Hey, family, give thanks for your presence with us. This is the Tiger's Nest. It's almost like I'm going into another subject area, but that's very good because, again, give thanks for the opening of the Lion's Gate. But no, yeah, nice subject, eh? But I want to get to the subject that I have planned for tonight, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a strong movement afoot right now to discredit the works of our great ancestor, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. Now, I would have been aware of this, you know, and this is coming from different angles. Now, of course, as I said, we are in the month of Mosiah, Marcus Garvey, and Marcus Mosiah Garvey, you know, controls that month of August. Very good. And, you know, we've been highlighting the connection with Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the Olmec people. You know, a theory that cannot be denied. A concept that no one can run from. Well, people are trying to run from it. Now, we have certified this. You know how long we talking about the Olmec linking with Mosiah Garvey? I'm talking about, it got to be at least 18 years now, if you want to say we would have cracked that code. The Olmec people, the forerunner of the Quetzalcoatl to come. Now, I mean, I'm well aware that we have some movements that would have risen up in the past few years, nothing too long ago, like the ADOS, the African Descendants of Slaves, the African American Descendants of Slave. I think that's what they mean, that group, ADOS. And you also, I think you have some groups that are pushing the strong narrative that we, the Black people here in the Western world, did not come here at all on any ships or anything like that. And we are the Indians as such, who they call Indians. And you got to somewhat be careful as you go through all of these terms here, because of course, just to call the people in the Western world Indians is almost a disrespect there again. The Cherokee and all of these people here, the Hopi, to refer to them as Indians, because we understand that Columbus's story was that he was trying to find India, right? You know that. So when he ran up into them lands here, or whether he knew where he was going because he had the Moor with him as an astronomer to guide him, but whatever the case, he didn't reach India. And he decided, well, listen, let's call these fellas over here Indians too. So that's why those of us in the Caribbean, Caribbeans beyond, are called West Indians. Imagine that. West Indians. When I was younger, and my father used to watch cricket on television, and I would see one team, and even from then, you know, I was trying to figure out what's going on here. I mean, young, eh? I was trying to figure out, what is this? Here is a team called the West Indians. Everybody on the team, Black. I didn't see no Indian. They may have had a so-called Indian, maybe from Guyana, on the team, but everyone else was an African. And then they were playing against South Africa. And everyone on that team, with maybe the exception of one or maybe two, were Europeans. And even as a child, 5, 6, I watching this saying, but that don't make no sense. You understand? So the terms, that's why sometimes we are speaking and people stop a whole conversation because of a term and a word and a phrase. I understand. I understand. I understand. But sometimes you got to make the conversation flow, especially if you are of a certain intellect and we passed that stage already. But yes, now, I'm saying that many ones consider that we, the people that they call Black people, you know who I'm talking about. When you say Black people, you know who I'm talking about. The people they call in the US African Americans, that type of people there. Many people consider that none of us really came here. Maybe one or two, but the vast majority of us were here. We were right here. Not only were we here, we weren't here mixed with Indians. We are the Indians. That history speaks about. So again, we are told that there is a heap of whitewashing taking place here. So now I'm going to narrow this down to the Olmecs because this is not really the subject. I want to get straight to the Olmec people. Now, it is obvious that the Olmecs are black people, African people. I wouldn't even nearly believe, you know, that someone would have the nerve to try to even discredit this. I don't care what DNA you go for. I don't care what history you try to find. Anybody that have eyes can look and see that the Olmecs are not what you call Indians. To my surprise, there's this strong movement afoot trying to discredit the works of the Honorable Ivan van Sertima. Man, this movement is even labeling our good ancestor, scholar, as being not only biased, but racist. And what's worse, you have some black people, yeah, that is following this sort of narrative. And what I'm going to do tonight, family, we are going to listen to these two guests, because they're guests really. And they're going to be, I'm actually getting into an interview that they did with each other. I'll tell you who they are when we get there. And they are doing their utmost best to discredit the fact that the Olmec people in Central America are Africans. And nothing that they're saying is on point. It's all speculation. Remember, you know, Ras van Sertima come and lay everything on the table point by point. These people here talking about, well, we speculate, it could be. Now we suppose, man, when you listen to that tonight, the most suppose, think, believe, it could be, now there may be a chance you're going to hear. And I said, now listen to this. And the nerve of some of us that say we are melanated night ether people, following the towing the line, I should say, of these individuals that consider themselves scholars. I gotta come at them like this because in their narrative, they're trying to diss us. Talking about there's some, you know, so-called scholars of the African race that are just as racist as the Europeans who tried to take away their history. How do you think the indigenous people of Central America feel? Bob? Yeah, that's how they're talking, like they're crying. We're going to get to that in a moment. Don't worry. It's all right. Don't worry. We got to come with the facts and let them understand that you cannot fool us. In fact, before we even go there, and again, family, those of you who may be on the YouTube, keep in mind that in a few moments, we are going straight to Radio Anu. Well, we are straight on Radio Anu. We're just streaming this, you know, so everyone could know where we are. This is going to be a serious program this evening, and, you know, everything is not for the YouTube screen, you know. So definitely find your way over to Radio Anu. Let me just take a little taste of our esteemed ancestor, Dr. Ivan van Sertima.
The very first major civilization in the Americas is known as Olmec civilization. This civilization occurs in the Gulf Coast of Mexico. When we speak of Mexico, however, you must get it very clear in your mind that we're not speaking of the shrunken Mexico of today. We speak of Mexico when it was the very core and heartland of Native American civilizations. A Mexico that included parts of Colorado, parts of Texas, parts of California, going right up to La Plata in Canada. This civilization known as Olmec was to touch all other civilizations in America, the Maya, the Toltec, the Aztec, etc. It was even to stretch right out into South America. What is very unusual about this civilization was that not only was it the mother of American civilizations, but it contained elements that were not just native to America, but was a fusion between the Native American and people coming from outside. The most significant of those outsiders were the Africans. We have very clear evidence in stone heads, in terracottas that are clay sculptures, as well as skulls and skeletons of an African physical type entering that native population, somewhere between 948 and 680 BC. How do we know the date? It is because on one of the platforms in the holy center and capital of the Olmec world, a place called Abenta, we were able to date the stone heads because they were rooted in a wooden platform where the Americans worshipped, and we got this dating of 948 to 680 BC. Now, several people have wondered what kind of Africans these were. Who were these outsiders? These were largely Egypto-Nubian types. At least that type was in command. Because what we do find in the evidence is that not merely the presence of this physical type, which is African, but the presence of cultural elements, which we will talk about in this program, which are clearly of Egypto-Nubian origin.
Now, you see, we're talking about the rubber people here. And I really more want to, we will return to Dr. Van Sertima in a moment, but we really want to examine what the detractors are saying. Yeah, so we're going to get to that in a moment there. Just stay put. Family, let me just remind you, this is very important. The 17th of September, the 17th of September, we are officially relaunching PriestIsaacInstitute.com, the website. I mean, those of you who have been on the website, well, of course, most of you that are listening are on the website, Radio Anu. You would have seen, especially if you visit us regularly, you would have seen that the website is advancing, evolving, improving, and many different things are added to it. Contents, everything, products, services, and we will be officially relaunching the website on the 17th of September. It's going to be a webinar that's from 2 to 4. I mean, it's going to be a very exciting day, We're going to be giving you more information as the days get closer, so you could know exactly what to expect, what special features will be happening on the day. And remember, you will be able to view it from this YouTube channel that those of you watching on YouTube are watching, which is Priest Isaac YouTube channel. But you can also join via Zoom. You can join via Zoom. Now, the VIP Zoomers, there's no charge, All you have to do is email us and let us know, I would like my Zoom link for the webinar official relaunch of the website, because the Zoom VIPs are going to get a special gift. You will know when you come. But it's very important, and we're going to ask you as a family, we humbly ask that you don't share the link. If someone wants to come, just tell them email us. That's all. We don't want you to share it, and it's no cost. Just email us. Very important. We hope ones cooperate with us. This is very important because I think you all realize how important security is at this moment. And we just want to make sure everyone on the Zoom is all right. We're going to have children watching. Let me bring this up. This is necessary. How many of you remember a little over a year ago? Listen to me, And if you're eating your dinner, this might upset you. How many of you remember a little over a year ago, I had this brilliant idea that I'm going to start a program. And believe it or not, this program is what morphed into Rasta Roundtable. I was going to start a program where I'm going to put the Zoom link in the chat. Wow. And invite anyone who wants to come in, and let's just have a discussion. Either I'm going to raise the discussion or we just open it. We call it open night, open mic night. How many of you remember that? I know a lot of you do, because when we were live, we had over 100 people. All right. So at the time, we had about 7 people on the Zoom, maybe 100 people on the YouTube watching. But the people in the Zoom, because, you know, you had to click the link and come in. So the discussion was going on. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, I must say. But there was this one person inside of the Zoom, or one thing. I wouldn't even call that a person. There was one thing inside of the Zoom, and their label was iPhone. You remember that, don't you? Yeah, iPhone. And I was saying, so iPhone, put on your camera. And iPhone took a while to put on the camera. Do you know, I had the energy in me to kick out iPhone. You know? I tell you, but I didn't move with that energy. And you all saw what happened when iPhone came on the screen. Pornography, live. Do you remember when we X that out? Do you remember what happened when he got back in? We all saw his face. He was right there in the room, no shirt on. And he's, I got you now, I got you now. And we shut down that stream. And I came back live after, like in 10 minutes, I was back on again. But no open night mic. I came back on, obviously, to speak about what just happened. And we took down the video because obviously YouTube might give us a serious strike for that one. So we had to move that right away. Now, that alone shows you what sort of wicked, evil people are trying to stop the work of right. That is why even subjects like what we're touching tonight, we have to touch it. You can't have nobody just jumping up trying to diss our Ivan Van Sertima scholar. That's what they do. But then now, how many of us going to jump up and defend Ivan Van Sertima? Not because he done pass on. His works is still with us, and it has brought many of us thus far. Then you're going to have some little old rusty people there out of the hills and cave side of Europe coming and trying to diss the great works that the God put down with, I suppose, and maybe let us see, and research is still out there, and all of them kind of halfway talk. Yeah. So anyway, that is why we are asking that if you desire the Zoom link, you see how everything tie in here? That is why we are asking, if you desire the Zoom link, please contact us. And we are asking that if you have a friend that wants to be there, tell them to contact us. Because we're going to keep a record of the Zoom links we give out. You get what I'm saying? And make sure you screen before you come in. All right. So I just want you to know, we're all family here. I don't want nobody to get scared. Don't get frightened. But I myself, I got to defend myself. I got to defend my name. I got to defend my family. I got to defend my products. I just got to defend me, especially in this time. But anyway, let's go. Although he may not necessarily need the help. But we're going to defend Ivan Van Sertima right about now. All right, family. So give thanks. Let me just get a little more of the good brother.
The question arises, why do we include Egypt among classical African civilizations?
Yes.
There is now absolutely no doubt that the ancient Egyptian civilization was overwhelmingly African. They have found the kingdom of Tarseti in the Nile Valley, where all the major elements, political and religious elements, spring out of the south of Egypt, spring out of the Nubian world, coastal Nubian.
Now you see, family, you got to keep in mind that people like Van Sertima, Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Ben Yochanan, Dr. Henrik Clark, because I had to bring them out the other night, you don't know that them is my scholars. They had to fight hard to put Egypt back in Africa, I wonder if you understand what I'm saying. I have read books in my early stages. I got some ancient books there from, people in the know, conscious people. Some of them books trying the best to tell you Egypt is nowhere in Africa. Egypt all in Europe, Can you imagine that? And you got to admit, it's people like Dr. Ivan van Sertima, Dr. Ben Buchanan, Dr. Henrik Clark, and even Gia, all influenced by Garvey still, but yet at the same time that would have brought it on another level of scholarship to show the African presence, all over the world. Even in Africa, they're trying to take the African presence out of Africa. Hey, family, give thanks for your presence with us this evening. And of course, at the moment, let me just, I'm going to touch this one here. This one is from our good brother Vaughn Benjamin, Ronnie Benjamin, Midnight. And I have to highlight it, Mexican-American, because that's where we're going this evening. So I just said, let me touch upon this one. Hey, family, we're going to be sealing up the stream right now. Give thanks for your presence. I mean, we had a good time with the YouTube family. I hope the YouTube family will be now going to the link in the description below and press it and come over to Radio Anu, where you will get the continuation of this program. Not even a continuation. We haven't even started yet. We are about to start. Yes, Tiger says, give thanks. That's